physical therapy for her. And then she's talking about the pelvic floor. And then all of a sudden, Phaedra this is when it goes left. When Phaedra jumps into the conversation and says, okay, so you got your vagina and you got your cervix and then you've got the pelvic floor. And sometimes it'll fall. Someone said, well, how do you know it's falling? And she's like, well, you just know. And she said, well, sometimes you just got to get somebody to F you to get it back up. Welcome to We Wine Whenever. Grab your glass and join 3 Jersey Shore housewives, Wendy, Kelly, and Lori, as they dive into everything from Bravo drama to life's everyday chaos. It's unfiltered, it's hilarious, and it's the real talk you've been waiting for, from relationship to pop culture. We drink wine whenever, and we hope you do too. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a 5-star review. Cheers! Welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly.
We are doing Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 17, Episode 14 and 15, because we skipped a week. But before I do that, I would like to ask everyone to please head over to Instagram and follow us, and go over to YouTube, hit subscribe. I have noticed we are getting more Instagram followers, which we're really trying to push that, because for some reason, everyone only follows us on Facebook and YouTube.
TikTok.
And TikTok. Yeah, TikTok too. And thank you for everyone who's already done it.
Thank you.
So episode 14 was called Highland Games and Explosive Claims. And this is day 2 in Scotland. It's breakfast time. Phaedra brings up that she needed to take a look at what this tasty black was, because they were talking about that the night before.
Yeah.
That it's some sort of lesbian porn, but when she tried to look it up, she found out that it is in fact banned in Scotland. So
yes,
anyone trying to do that, you're not going to find it if you're in Scotland.
You have to do what Porsha does and screen record it.
Yes, screen record it.
Screen record it and then play it back for yourself once you get to Scotland. Screen record it here in the U.S. and then play it back. Yeah.
Exactly. And then we find out they're going to do some traditional Highland games. One of them is a caber toss, a hammer toss, and a tug-of-war. So the caber toss was like this big giant log thing, and you had to grab it from the bottom and flip it over, right? I thought for sure, due to the fact of Angela's sheer height, that she would be the best at this of all of them,
she was
right?
not.
Because she was I think she was probably the worst, to be honest with you.
She was the worst. I think she was the worst.
I don't even know who won that one because they didn't announce it. Then the next thing was the hammer toss. You had to take this big giant hammer and toss it as far as you could.
But it was like a golf swing motion, which was pretty cool.
Yes. And then the last one was the tug-of-war. And listen, I feel like you cannot go wrong with a tug-of-war, except for the fact that these teams were certainly stacked.
Yes.
So there was 2 teams. One team was Sturdy, which was Team Sturdy is what they were called. It was Porsha, Pinky, Drew, Angela. And then there was Team Mighty, which was Cynthia, Shamea, Kelli, and Phaedra. I mean, Shamea, Kelli, and Phaedra are tiny.
Tiny.
Compared to Porsha, Pinky, and Drew.
Right. And Angela.
And Angela. So needless to say, Sturdy won.
Yeah, Sturdy won.
I don't know if you noticed this, but I mean, Kelli, at one point, she was laying down on the ground with her legs up in the air. They were literally dragging her. I was like, oh my gosh, this poor girl.
She said, I ended up on my back, but not with anybody's husband or boyfriend.
Just getting dragged from the tug-of-war. So then they go inside and they're going to have hot toddies and haggis. That is, according to Phaedra, a traditional Scotland treat. And haggis is the intestines and brains of a lamb. No, thank you. No.
Now, is that considered vegan?
No, but they did make a vegan version for Pinky, which is just tofu. We all know what the vegan meat version of anything is. It's tofu, right?
Everybody was probably like, I'll take the vegan version, thanks.
Yeah, exactly. They tried it, though. I give them credit. They did try it, but then they go to lunch, and that's also on the menu is haggis. Ugh. It's on the menu for lunch. At lunch, the ladies ask Kelli how she's doing because of the headlines, the night before. She says okay, and she thanks them for for them supporting her. And Drew talks about how it was so liberating that they kind of all came together, which is good. I mean, whenever these girls can come together, it's a good thing.
Yes.
They say that they're going to reconvene in an hour. Meanwhile, we see Shamea's on the phone with her mom, and she says she feels like she's attacked. And she's saying it's hard to move forward, and you feel like your feelings are never validated. Pinky
tells
is
her
asking...
she tells her mom how Angela accused her of sleeping with that guy, George.
Right. Pinky's asking K. Michelle, like, what's going on with her and Shamea. She feels like the energy is off. And Pinky's saying that Shamea is fighting with everyone. And K. Michelle feels like what's going on with Shamea is bigger issues than what's, like, battling bigger issues than what's going on with, here. I don't know what is going on with Shamea. I really wish I could, even after we've watched 2 episodes, I don't get it. I don't understand what's going on with her.
I think it speaks volumes when she says that Porsha didn't want her to be a full-time housewife. Because I think we basically knew that. It was very obvious when Porsha completely 100% stole her thunder last season, episode 1, when Shamea was trying to have a birthday party and Porsha made it all about herself when she was 3 hours late. Like, I think that's the underlying thing here with Shamea. And the fact that everybody on this show, almost including Kelli now, is kissing Porsha's ass, and if when it comes down to it, they're not gonna be Shamea's friend. They're gonna back Porsha up because she's been here the longest.
I think that's true. I think what you just said is actually accurate, it's sad because, last season when Shamea came on full-time, like, we were both excited for her. We were excited for her to be a full-time because we had seen her as a friend role for so long. And it just is so sad to me that Porsha had to be that petty.
Mm-hmm. This whole Atlanta thing is giving heavy, heavy Jersey vibes. We now have 2 teams, right?
Yeah.
And Shamea is still well liked, I think. Like, I don't see people...
No, I don't see the people hating on her either.
So it's kind of like a Teresa and Melissa thing where they both have a decent fan base.
Yeah.
And now we're going to have teams. And it's not fun to watch. Like, I feel like Atlanta should be very careful because look at what happened with Jersey. You want to be put on pause for 2 years and then have to come back with strangers. Like, let's not do this.
Yeah. It's true. It's very true.
Like, I like this group. I think this is a good group.
I do too. But I'll be honest with you. I agree with you. I don't really think there's any way going forward with having both Shamea and Porsha on. And that means Shamea is gone.
Right.
Like, that means Shamea is gone. Which, honestly, I mean, I think the show will be fine without Shamea. But I think it's sad that, 1, they lost their friendship over it.
Yeah.
And 2, like, for what? Right? Like, for what at this point?
Right.
Pinky brings up how she's talking about all the real drama that she's going through in her life, running her multimillion-dollar company. She says she's just tired. Like, everyone's looking for her for the answers, and she's just sacrificed so much throughout her life. And, she almost lost her marriage because of her business. She doesn't see her like, she's giving up everything. She's like, I'm to the point where maybe I'll just, like, quit this and become an ambassador for Go Naked Hair. And Portia's like, come on over.
I love when she said that.
Yeah, Portia's like, come on. So then the next thing they're going to do is they all get on a party bus together, and they're asking Kelli about her man, and she said that she was introduced to him at a Hawks game. Kelli said, I don't want to be so hateful because of my situation. I'm glad that I found somebody that can nurture me back. And we know that Shamea did introduce Kelli to this guy. And I'm happy for her. Listen, everyone needs to have somebody on their side, right?
Yeah, no, I'm very happy for Kelli, but I loved when she said about the $70,000 smile. Phaedra's like, if I had bills to pay, I'd say, give me the Crest white strips.
Exactly.
And get the rest of the money for my bills. I thought that was great.
It was hysterical.
Yep.
Okay, this next conversation really went left. Drew is talking about
so left.
How she had a hysterectomy, and now that she's noticing she has to pee a lot. So the doctors ordered, physical therapy for her. Like, And then she's talking about the pelvic floor. And then all of a sudden, Phaedra this is when it goes left. When Phaedra jumps into the conversation and says, okay, so you got your vagina and you got your cervix and then you've got the pelvic floor. And sometimes it'll fall. And she's like, well, someone said, like, well, how do you know it's falling? And she's like, well, like, you just know. And she said, well, sometimes you just got to get somebody to F you to get it back up. And I was like, wait, what? Like, that's the prescription? Wait, what?
Yeah, and then Drew says that her physical therapist had to finger her to pick her pelvic floor back up. I have never in my life heard of that.
It's not real because I stopped immediately.
It can't possibly be real.
I Googled it. There's not, like, none of this is real. Like, I mean, yes, your pelvic floor, there are exercises that you can do. And I did see that there are basically the exercises are Kegels. And if they don't work, and if they don't work, there are some machines, and it kind of look like a stim machine that you can possibly use. Again, okay, but there's no effing going on to fix this. There's no one fingering you in physical therapy.
No. You don't have to go to third base with your physical therapist. That was wild.
The funniest. And they're all like talking about it like it's like it's a real thing.
Exactly.
And no one's like,
God.
It's so funny. So the first stop that they make is it's all about Scottish tartans and kilts. And, they're learning a little bit about them. And in the 1820s, it became formalized that one family would have a particular tartan. And Cynthia happened to be wearing the black watch tartan, and which goes with a certain family. And it takes 12 to 16 hours to make one kilt. What I was surprised is that today, in 2026, they are still all hand sewn.
I know. I mean,
That's
12
crazy.
to 16 hours. That's crazy.
Right. But Porsha tells everyone to pick out their own tartan sash, and she's going to pay for it for them because she wants them to wear that to the formal dinner for tomorrow. And they all do that. And the next stop is the restaurants, and the ladies get started with their drinks. And I wrote down, I actually like that Porsha was sitting next to Kelli at this dinner because I feel like, they're making progress, and I like to see that. Angela asks Drew how her music's going, and we hear that she's dropping a new song with Ray J.
That's a blast from the past.
Yeah, and then Pinky says, well, if you need a background singer, call me.
And then she starts to sing to prove her point.
She gives belts out a couple notes there. And then she says to Porsha, I didn't talk to you after I met with Dennis, but, we're going to be doing a tour together. And she tells Porsche that when she was talking to Dennis, they were talking about a lot of personal stuff. And Dennis was saying that, she said he was pouring his heart out, and he really, he kind of wants her back. Like, he wants to be with Porsha. And she's like, listen, I think, when Mike was in the picture, that was one thing. But when he learned that Sway was in the picture, I guess he thought, like, now there's no chance. Like, I think he thought when it was just Mike, there was a possibility. And that's why I think he kind of showed up with the ring to try and give her the ring back. Because I did say, I really think Dennis wants Porsha back.
I don't. I really think that this is just like a storyline for her. Especially because she says, I have no idea who he's dating. You don't know who he's dating, but he's living with someone and takes your daughter to his house, but you don't know who this person is. But yet you feel uncomfortable with your daughter going with her father to Shamea's house. Stop it. You know who he's dating. He's got a live-in girlfriend. You know exactly who she is. You've probably done a background check on her.
Well, that's where it went left, because then Shamea said, well, I have a question. Dennis talked to Gerald, and Dennis told Gerald that you mentioned you weren't comfortable with Pilar coming around us. She said, well, that's disappointing and hurtful. And she said, well, if somebody doesn't like me and I feel like we have ill will and we're not close, I'm not going to have my daughter go to their house, which I do think is petty. I do. I think it's petty.
I do too, because obviously, first of all, Dennis is going to be there. So nobody's going to shit talk Porsha when Dennis is around.
Right.
And
exactly.
Shamea would never do that in front of Pilar. She's a little girl.
Right. And, Shamea says, listen, it's your daughter, so you're obviously allowed to do, whatever you want. But I wish you would have just, not allowed our friendship or lack of to affect our kids. Because obviously,
Right.
And
they're like cousins.
Yes, exactly. Because they were like sisters. Exactly. So Porsha in her confessional said, she's poking at me right now. She's using what she knows is most important to me. And the only time there would be a person that spoke to me that way, you would have to be my sister. And that's what she had called her, right? And
yes, she did.
That's what Shamea said. You said that we were sisters. Like, these were your words. And she said, well, when I said we were sisters, we were. But then, things came to my knowledge last year, and then we're not. Okay.
Again, Porsha's just lying. She's just lying.
I know. I think it's just sad that it then goes to... Shamea said, you told a lot of lies last year. I let it go. Even the part where you said, Andy, I always wanted Shamea to be on the show. And you know that wasn't true. Like, everyone knows that you didn't want me on the show. And you sat down with me and you said, you have the Hawks. You have your singing thing. You have your dancing thing. Like, this is my thing. Porsha sat down with Shamea and had this conversation.
Yep. And I believe it. I 100% believe it.
I believe it too. Right, I do too. And Porsha is saying, why are you lying about that? And first of all, why would she lie about that?
Right.
There's no motive for her to lie about that, right?
Not at all.
So she says, like, why would I lie about that? Like, she said, then we talked about our parents. You said, I don't ever want a friendship to be affected by our parents' friendship. That's what you said, and we agreed. But the first thing you did was go on your public platform and talked about my mom. That my mom bought your mom's daycare.
Yeah.
And at the reunion. And she said, but in fact, your mom did something to my mom first. And you don't want me to speak on that, right? And Porsha says, I don't give an F what our parents did because they were friends before we were friends. She said, yeah, but you posted about my mom. So this is the thing. I think it's so unfortunate this whole thing came out.
Yes.
About the moms, that both moms were dragged. The father was dragged. The uncle was dragged.
Yeah.
These are people that had not signed up for this.
That's right.
Not signed up for this. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. So Shamea accuses Porsha's mom of trying to sleep with her father. And then Porsha turns around and says that Shamea's mom slept with Shamea's dad's brother. Now, but Porsha doesn't know his name. So again, probably a lie. And I didn't like when Phaedra's like, if somebody said that about my mom, I'd be like, that's not true. I wouldn't be like, which one? Shamea was asking which one because she knew damn well Porsha was lying and she wasn't going to give a name. Porsha, I'm sure, knows her uncle's names and could have said one, but didn't because it's a lie.
Well,
but I do
thought it
believe
was
that
funny.
Miss Diane would try to hook up with Shamea's father.
Why?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
I mean,
and I know we shouldn't be talking about anybody's mother.
No. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, we shouldn't be talking about anybody's mother.
Yeah, we shouldn't. I mean, I did like that, honestly, that Phaedra, what she said in her confessional about that, like, that is so the lawyer in her. Like, that's just how her brain thinks.
Yeah, of course, how your
right?
responses go.
I mean,
yeah.
Cynthia said, which in her confessional, she came to dinner with one in the chamber. This isn't the one to unload. Like, okay, you came in to talk, but all of a sudden, this is the one you're going to use? I was like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, even at the table, when they both dropped that, everyone gasped at the table. They were just like, what is going on?
So Shamea and Kelli basically leave. Kelli goes with her,
Yep.
which I was glad. And Kay says that nobody in the group should feel like everybody's against them. And that for the past month and a half, Shamea has changed because of basically how everybody, how she's been on the defense with everybody. And she's devastated by the friendship with Porsha ending. And I do believe that.
Yeah.
And, Portia's so, aghast that Shamea said that about her mother. But you said the other thing about her mother at the reunion. And then you doubled down and said that her mother slept with her uncle. Like, Portia's not innocent in any of this.
No.
If she wanted any sympathy.
No.
She should have kept her mouth shut. She shouldn't have said anything. If she would have just kept her mouth shut and been like, that's disgusting. You and your mother are low down dirty. End it. She'd have more sympathy. But then she goes back with some crazy other allegation.
And yeah, and not only does she do that, but then when this is airing and she's in the Bahamas, she goes on Twitter and starts bringing it up again.
Yeah.
And
see? So zero credibility,
yeah.
Porsha, zero.
Shamea was on Watch What Happens Live after last night's episode because, that was like the second, another part of Scotland. And Andy asked her about it, and she's like, listen, I'm not speaking about this anymore. And I don't blame her. Like, that's where it needs to be. Like, let's not talk about it. Because that's the only way it's going to go away.
Mothers. That's right.
Not talking about it, right?
Yep.
So, Shamea, like you said, she left crying. She said her parents have been married for almost 50 years. 50 years. Like,
time.
It's a long time. That is a long time.
I'm only halfway there.
Mm.
God bless.
So then the next one is episode number 15, and this one is called Waking the Dead.
So crazy, Phaedra. I have Walking the Dead also.
No, it's Waking. It's Waking.
Yeah. It's so funny, though. I really have Walking the Dead. That's so funny.
So we're still at the dinner. Kelli and Shamea have left the dinner, and she's heard about what's gone on, but the other ladies are going out to the hottest club in Scotland, and Kelli and Shamea are like, we are not going to miss, I'm not coming all the way to Scotland. We're not going to miss this. So while they're celebrating Phaedra's birthday at the hottest, club in Scotland, Shamea and Kelli get themselves together, and they show up there, and Kay Michelle is singing Happy Birthday to Phaedra, and she was so honored to be serenaded by Kay Michelle. Then Angela and Drew, after Kelli and Shamea show up, as soon as Kelli and Shamea show up, Porsha sees them and she takes her stuff and she leaves. And they led us to believe that everyone left also. But according to Instagram the next day, Angela and Cynthia stayed and watched Shamea sing.
Right. So just Porsha, Phaedra, and Drew left.
Yes, but that's not how production edited it. So
100%.
Scotland Day 3, Phaedra's taking some of the girls to the cemetery, and she is taking Cynthia, Kelli, and Shamea. Now, it turns out this cemetery has something to do with Harry Potter. Like the name, like J.K. Rowling's went to this cemetery and took some of the names off.
I don't think it was this cemetery. I think that Phaedra had heard that J.K. Rowling walked through a cemetery and was inspired to write Harry Potter. And that's another reason she likes to visit cemeteries.
Besides the fact that she's a mortician. That could be.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, that
exactly.
Listen, she's Phaedra. You know what? Let her do whatever she's going to do.
Whatever. She's successful. So whatever she's doing is working. So God bless her.
So then Portia's going to take whoever doesn't go with Phaedra. She says they're going to come with her to the spa. But I will tell you, that was the jankiest spa I've ever seen in my life. That was not a spa.
It was a hot tub in the middle of the woods.
In the middle of nowhere. I was like, what is this? Nobody was getting in that.
No. Did you notice that when they were walking through that cemetery, they were playing the theme song to the Addams Family at just a different tempo? I'm almost positive because I'm listening to the music. I'm like, what is it? It was either the Addams Family or the Munsters, but it was just a different tempo. It was definitely one of them.
That's funny. So before Porsha takes them to her janky spa, she calls her sister Lauren on the phone and she's telling her what happened. And, of course, Lauren's her sister, so she's going to, take Portia's side on it. But Porsha then has to throw out another dig about her daddy never had any teeth. Okay, the man is still alive.
This is what I mean. She's horrible, Porsha. She's horrible. You're saying that about a man who you've known since you were a little girl, who was probably very good to you growing up.
Yep.
But now that you're on TV and you're the star of the show, you think you could say that about him.
Right. Which isn't cool. It's not cool. So when they're on the way to the cemetery, Shamea in the van, she apologizes, to Cynthia and everyone because she didn't expect it to go that way. And, basically everyone asks her at some point throughout this episode, like, why would you do this? And she's like, listen, I didn't come in here planning to do this. This has been something that has been building up. And I just let it go. I just exploded. Like, it wasn't my best moment. I didn't, plan on doing this, but this is what happened. You keep poking me, something's going to happen. So Drew then thanks K. Michelle for supporting her with her music, which I thought was nice. Pinky said she's seen changes in Shamea, and they all thought that she wanted to make amends with Porsha, which, again, I think that she did, but Porsha just wasn't allowing it.
Even though she says she was ready. She wasn't.
But no, she wasn't. She definitely wasn't. The tour guide of the cemetery lets them know that in 1999, there was an exorcism at this cemetery, and a week later, the exorcist died. Okay.
That's
Thank
wild.
you for sharing that, right?
Wild.
So everyone gets back to the castle, the spa goers, the cemetery goers, and they're all going to get ready because they're going to be celebrating Phaedra's birthday that night. I don't know who Phaedra was having this conversation with when she was talking about how she wasn't really able to date after Apollo because she had, she said she only had 2 boyfriends in 7 years. Oh, Cynthia. It must have been Cynthia.
Well,
Cynthia,
it must have been in the car.
Okay.
Oh, no. It was they're having the dinner in the library. And Phaedra said she had 2 boyfriends in 7 years. And Cynthia's like, no.
No.
That was so funny.
The ladies are all wearing their tartan sashes that they had picked out.
I did think that they all looked stunning.
They did.
All of them.
They really did.
Yeah,
I think that
everyone
as
looked
a matter of fact,
amazing.
I thought that their outfits for that birthday dinner were better than some of their reunion looks.
Absolutely. Like
yeah,
that is how they should show up to a reunion.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't them. It was the Potomac ladies. Remember the one year where all of their boobs were literally smushed down? It looked painful.
Yeah.
Kelli said, Kelli must have been in her confessional, and she said all the other ladies are taking on Porsha's beef because Shamea said she felt lighter after saying her truth. And Kelli said all the other ladies are taking on Porsha's beef, and the ladies aren't looking at the truth. They're just following the one who's been here for a long time, but is also a known liar. And that's facts right there. Facts.
That is facts. Cynthia is telling Angela, Drew, and K. Michelle about her conversation that she had with Shamea at the cemetery. And we find out that the ladies created a party in a secret room that was actually next to Phaedra's bedroom that she knew nothing about. Only in a castle.
Yeah.
Only in a castle.
It looked like a library, right? With all those books.
It did. And then Porsha is thanking Phaedra for her friendship, and she's saying that she's always been there for her, whether they were filming or not. And I'm like, what is this? Seriously, what is this?
Well, I loved when Shamea in her confessional was like, oh, she's your best friend? She wasn't even at your wedding.
Exactly. Phaedra's telling them all about the cemetery. K. Michelle starts talking about how she had 13 different surgeries and how she's prayed to God that, because she made this stupid mistake and please let me stay here. Because honestly, every time she talks about it, I feel like this girl has been near death several times because of this one mistake that she made.
Well, that's what she wants us to think, at least. Yeah.
Yeah, right? It comes up a lot.
Yeah, this must have poisoned her body, I would imagine, which is frightening. For a doctor to tell her mother, we don't know if she's going to make it, for crying out loud. My God.
Scary.
That's what she alluded to, right?
Yeah, no, that's what she said. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess after Phaedra's done telling them about the cemetery, Drew brings up that now she's thinking about her dad and she feels guilty because she hasn't visited his gravesite and it's been almost 2 years. And she starts getting emotional, so she gets up and walks away from the table, and Porsha goes with her. And then Shamea starts and talking to the people left at the table, and she, apologizes to them and to Phaedra, and she's like, I don't want people to have to pick a side. This is something I shouldn't have done. And K. Michelle says, well, why would you do this? And she again says it's been festering. And in her confessional, Pinky said Shamea at this point has become a professional apologizer. And Kelli is saying, I keep telling her to stop apologizing.
Yeah. I don't think it was outlandish. I think it was nice that she apologized to Phaedra because this is her birthday trip. And that dinner really did take a hard turn when she dropped that bomb about Porsha's mom. But, I could imagine how bottled up she felt with that especially after Porsha saying that her mom, bought Diane's daycare whatever.
Center.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
So as she's still like kind of talking and apologizing, Drew and Porsha come back to the table. The cake comes out. They sing happy birthday, and it's not mentioned anymore. And that's pretty much the end of it. But then we see scenes for next week, and this I think is interesting. So next week we see K. Michelle has a sit down with Shamea and says, "You went really low really fast. What made you bring that up?" And I'm like, "You've already asked her that. So why are you asking that again?" Like, I feel like K. Michelle and Pinky think that there's more to this because that's what they keep saying.
They do, but I don't. Was Kay there when they like? I think that wasn't that in the when they went to the cemetery. So it would have been Shamea, Kelli, Phaedra, and Cynthia. So
no, but
Kay,
at
Michelle,
the dinner,
and Pinky weren't there. Oh, at the dinner they talked about it again.
At the dinner, yeah. When Shamea apologized when Porsha walked away, K. Michelle said, "What made you say something to Porsha like that?" She said, "It's been fostering."
Yeah,
that's what she said. Like she answered her at the dinner. So then why?
Right.
When they
so
get
why
back,
we
is she
bringing it up
having
again?
Right, and her and Pinky keep saying that they think there's something else going on with Shamea, like, and they've seen her change throughout the season. I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's weird. Then we see Porsha's out bowling with Mike, and he says, "I'm in love with her." As she says, "We can talk about it a little bit later," and we know how that ends.
Yes.
And then the next thing we see is Shamea's talking to Dennis and saying, "They're all saying that you and I had a sexual relationship." We don't exactly get Dennis's answer, but then they say Angela was not lying. Angela is vindicated. I'm not sure what they're referring to there.
Wait, or I thought that was George.
No.
The guy George
No, it was
Shamea.
Dennis.
It was Dennis?
I thought it was Dennis.
Talking about Drew?
No, about Shamea. Like, there was no...
Yeah, but nobody said Shamea and Dennis had a sexual relationship. They were saying George.
But it wasn't George that was there, was it? There was no blue beard guy.
I don't know,
Dennis.
because this one I had to watch on my DVR, not Peacock, because of when I watched it, and it got cut off. So I didn't see who they were talking about. I just saw what they were saying. I just heard Angela was vindicated. And I thought it had to do with Shamea and George.
I thought it was Dennis when I looked. I thought it was Dennis. I could be wrong, though. Now I'm going to have to
we'll see next week. That's for sure.
We definitely will see next week. And Shamea did say on Watch What Happens Live that, she felt like she was vindicated at the reunion. So whatever comes out, is going to come out. So we'll have to wait and see. I can't imagine how many more episodes there are. Did she say where she was?
No, I mean, come on. We're on 15?
17. We're on 15, right. We're on 15.
Come on. Like, wrap it up. It's too long. It's like The Valley. End it.
Yes, exactly.
My God. Did she say that obviously she and Porsha are still not in a good place, right?
No. Damn. And they're not going to be. I don't
they're
think
not
that
going
they ever
to be
will.
after this.
Everyone has said that. They're not going to get past this. It's too much.
And I'll tell you what, Porsha will keep this shit going just for the show.
Well, I mean,
she really will.
Once this season's over, if Shamea's not on there's nothing for her to keep going.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, and I think that's what's going to happen. So,
I don't know.
Until next time, thank you for watching and listening. Please subscribe and give us 5-star reviews. Bye.